joking about like basically like recording in the hotel bed or something like that. But
yeah. You're both like head on your hand,
looking
like...
into each other's eyes. Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to. But let's be honest, you are drinking whiskey, or you're just really interested in the fun banter, the nice meandering, and the sherry butts. Thanks for joining us today. But there's Saunternay cast today, not Sherry Butts, but she may be back next week. That's the intro I decided to do today. But here's some business this week. Comment on YouTube and Instagram. We love that stuff. Actually, we got 4 or 5 comments on last video, which is like, I hate to say it, is a lot for like the first day.
I haven't been tracking.
We're getting there.
Good,
we're working our way up. Yeah, but nice. We'll take all those and we'll respond to all of them, or at least heart them, because we love you guys. Thanks for interacting and interact with each other too. That's pretty fun. That's the business for this week. Bryan, you know what I did this week? I'll just interrupt before I ask you how you're doing. So last episode, I mentioned that we did a episode on Old Bardstown. Yeah. And I was like, I don't remember doing that episode. So I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to find out what we did on that episode. And that was a me and Robbie episode where we were in Vegas together. We found a bottle of Old Bardstown at the liquor store and just did an episode on it in the hotel room.
Yeah. Well, that's how you did the Dickel one too, right? Was that the same trip?
Exactly. Nope. Same trip. And it's probably the same day we recorded. And that's where I got Dickel in my eye. And that was funny because we were lubed up on those episodes, and it was very very loose. So yeah,
lubed up and loose in a hotel room with Robbie, huh?
Exactly, and yet so totally straight. But we made jokes about that. We're like, I'm joking about like basically like recording in the hotel bed or something like that. But yeah,
you're both like head on your hand,
looking into each other's eyes.
For the whole episode.
Oh yeah, we and I guess this is my second piece of business. If you're ever interested in listening to old episodes, even to episode 1, the best way you can do that, I hate to say it, is going to podbean.com. That's pretty much the only way you can find really old episodes. We started on YouTube a little late, and some of our Spotify and Apple podcasts only go back so far for some dumb reason. But all of our episode catalog is on Podbean. That's like podfrijole.com. But, beans, not frijoles. Yeah. So anyway, it was fun. It was fun listening to that. Nice. I haven't listened to an old episode in a very long time. Yeah.
Do you did you like your production value of yourself well, granted you weren't at your normal setup, so I guess that question doesn't really apply, but do you feel like you've come a long way since then, regardless of the fact that you were in a hotel room?
Like production wise, or like just like podcast wise?
Maybe just comfort and familiarity with being there and doing that, because it's been like 200 episodes.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah.
I think that I was pretty comfortable 150 episodes in. And I don't think that has like changed too much. I am very like I'll just wing it often. And it's not like, the history I never wing. I always prep that and stuff like that. But yeah, usually it's like, just comes to me. And if I make a mistake, it's totally okay. Like, what was it last week? I said something really dumb at the beginning, but I was like, hey, it's still great. So yeah.
Yeah.
It is, I got to look something up real quick, but yeah. How are you doing? How do you feel after a certain amount of episodes?
It's funny. I feel pretty good. I think not too long ago, I went back and listened to like one of my first ones. And I don't know, I guess I feel like the way that I talk about stuff hasn't really changed too much, I think. I don't know. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't know. I won't take offense, I guess. But yeah, always down for feedback. But no, I obviously my camera and everything has changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Things external to me have changed a lot, but I don't know. I feel like at least the way that I talk has just kind of always been the same, probably.
Yeah. Well, I just realized that your official first episode as a co-host, official co-host, was episode 279. This is
Yeah.
282 or 382. So you've been a podcast co-host for 103 episodes. That's pretty big.
Nice.
That's basically next week. It'll be 2 years.
Oh yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
sorry, dropped my seltzer for a moment. Yeah.
Next week it'll be 2 years. That's
Yeah.
my first episode. That first episode was like September 24, I think.
I can find out. November 6th was the release. It
Oh,
might have
never
been your
mind then.
first episode as a test co-host. That was September
That's
24th. Yeah.
gotta be what it was. Cause it was like a
Yeah.
month, like it was like a month or two.
Mhm.
I think since while you were doing the trials and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did
good
4
times.
episodes with Bryce, Ben, you, and Marco, and then we did 2 extra with you and Ben, and then you
Yeah.
took on. So that was like 6 episodes, probably 5 episodes between maybe that you start, because I think you were the first, were you?
Yeah.
I think you were.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You definitely were.
Nice.
So
Starting off with a bang, huh? Yeah.
yeah.
The guy
it
that you
was to
didn't
me.
expect to win.
Yeah, I mean, I've told people before I was happy to have you test it out, but I was banking on someone else, and I will not say who. But people spoke, and I'm grateful I got you. For the record,
Right.
don't regret a thing. Don't
Yeah.
regret a thing.
Tell me what you're entry buzzing on here. Actually, so I got my entry buzz lined up here too. I haven't even taken a sip yet, so here I go.
Oh,
Did you figure
Boom.
out? Oh, okay.
batch 9
Nice.
of Found North.
Nice.
You know, it was behind me, and I have batch 7, 8, 9, and 7S behind me. And I was like, let me just grab one of those. So I thought, I love 9. 9's got that ruby port, grapey jammy, yummy.
Yeah.
And I've always liked it. And it had, out of the open bottles behind me, it had the most liquid in it. So I went with this one so I could drain that liquid a little more. But I
Nice.
don't drink a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, right. On purpose, right? That's like a thing you try to keep it to just episodes and weekends or something.
I am grateful you brought this up, Brian, because yes, I'm a man of boundaries. I've mentioned this phrase before on the podcast, is I have enough problems to add an alcohol problem to my life. I love my life. I, do things all right, but I find that I don't need to be an alcoholic. I would avoid it like the plague. And so I have alcoholism in my family. I have, I have an addictive personality to begin with. But that being said, I have a few things going for me. One, I don't like the feeling of over drinking, but that's not my boundary. I think it's fortunate because I get headaches pretty quick after drinking maybe 3 drinks or something like that. And so when people tell me they're like, oh, I got drunk and had a great time, I'm like, dude, I don't get that. First of all, I don't drink to get drunk, first of all. But I don't understand how people can enjoy themselves when they're drunk, because I'm like, dude, if I were like pushing it to 4 or 5 drinks or something in a short amount of time, dude, I would feel terrible, like have a terrible headache and just feel like queasy and not even like barf after being drunk. Like it just doesn't add up. So I like to enjoy my first 3 drinks max.
Yeah.
Like even at when we were doing the barrel pick at Driftless Glen, dude, I capped out. And part of that was just being like, hey, my boundaries. But part of that was like, I just don't feel good. So that being said, but then my boundaries are typically this. I can drink in social situations any time of the week. If I'm having people over for dinner, I can offer them a drink and drink myself. That's any day of the week. When we record an episode, I drink, of course. But on the weekend, I probably drink like maybe like honestly, on a weekend, probably 2 drinks a day. Or maybe 3 drinks in one day. Like that's about it. And spread out for sure. Because here's what I don't want. I don't want and then I don't want to be drinking like all the time, because I find that I will just want it more and want to just be that to be my release or my whatever you call it, like just like I want that to be
part of your routine.
Yeah, exactly. And I
You
don't want it to be part of my
want it to
routine.
be.
I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to come to it and be like, I really need a drink today, because it's been a hard day. I don't want to medicate with alcohol. I want to avoid, like I said, I avoid it like the plague, and I don't drink to get drunk. Like I basically cap it frequency, and as we call it in the insurance industry, severity. The amount I drink and the frequency I drink it. I try to limit those. So but like I said, it's a little overdone, but I honestly want to keep as far away from a problem as I can, because I do have the ability to drink a lot. I do have the ability to drink a lot in one sitting, but I don't want to do those things because I want to enjoy them. I want to be a connoisseur, but I don't want to be an alcoholic. So that's my spiel.
So our tour versus tour deal that we always do, it's never really applied directly to anything else. But
connoisseur.
Yeah, I do say connoisseur. Connoisseur.
What did I say? Did I say sour?
You did say connoisseur very clearly.
So maybe it is a thing.
Interesting.
It's just the or. Yeah. So did you go to the grocery store the other day?
Spelled differently. No, can't do it with that one.
Let me think about this. What else is with the oor?
Oor.
Restaurateur.
You say manure instead of manure.
No, that one I'm out. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. But back to the serious subject though. Yeah, I used to be able to drink so much more than I can now, without negative effects the next day. Honestly, as of about probably 4 or 5 years ago, so around 35-ish for me, was when it was just like, I am dead the next day if I drink too much. And and it's as bad as it was like 5 years ago, it's even worse now. And I am grateful to say that I have not even been hungover in probably about 2 years, because the last time I did it, I was so down on myself. Like, why would I have done this to myself? And it's like, it just like the irresponsibility of it just drove me absolutely crazy. So I do everything I can to make sure that I do not drink in excess anymore. And especially now that I have a kid, actually, not even to mention that, the extra layer of responsibility here.
Yeah.
If I'm out of commission the next day and then like Sam's all by herself all day and I can't even help because all I want to do is barf. So anyway, that aside, because that's an entire reason in itself to not do it. But I just like the irresponsibility of it. Why did I do this? Like weighs on me so much that I just do not let that happen anymore.
Yeah, no, that's healthy. Yeah, and if you want to, here's the requirement for being a co-host, and is don't have a problem.
I know. Yeah.
So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna let you co-host if you have a problem.
That's a good point.
Which I'm not worried about, but it's another good reason to stay in a responsible zone.
For sure. Well, speaking of
being myself. Sorry, go on.
Like if you were like, if this was like the reason why it happened, like,
I was enabling, or like whatever,
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. But speaking of extra responsibilities, so I've got my mom coming into town this
Nice.
weekend. And this is also coincidentally the weekend that is my solo dad weekend. So that Sam gets to go have a girls trip this weekend in, keeping things even because we did the whole barrel pick thing over a weekend a month ago or so. So yeah, Sam's headed out to San Diego. Yeah.
Nice.
And hanging out with a coworker of hers out there. They're going to go to some bars and stuff, and yeah, just live it up, I guess, while I'm here. And we just ended up being like, this was a great weekend for my mom to come out too. So at least she'll be able to help me a little bit. But I'll be mostly solo dadding here all weekend. So
nice.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. And it'd be great to spend time with my mom and everything. But at the same time, there's so many little things that Sam knows that I don't like. For lunch, you want to give her solid food first and then give her a milk afterwards, because like that means that she'll eat more food rather than fill up on milk. And it's like, it's these little things that like, I'm sure everything will be fine no matter what I do, but still it's like, I like to know the routine.
Yeah.
So I might need her to write me a little cheat sheet.
So Heather always writes me a cheat sheet, and it is so helpful, especially when they're this age and I need to get them to school at this time, and I need to show up in this car or this like parking lot for the school, and I need to say I am Beck's, daddy, and at the, when I pick her up, and they should have me on record, and like all these things that typically Heather does and is in routine in doing those things. On Friday, she needs to bring a show and tell item and all these things. Like, so I, for the most part, know how to like, I don't know, feed them and take care of them and stuff. But it's always those, like when they get older, I guess it's always those like
logistics.
Details. Yeah. So maybe, I mean, heck, if Sam's into it, she could write a big thing, and then you could basically like throw that into ChatGPT and be like, what do I need to do today? I'm about to feed my child. What do I do? And what do I not do? Dude, that's why I love ChatGPT.
Build a model off of it so it can just like be Sam for me, basically. So I can ask it questions.
Dude, it's only a matter of time.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what I'm waiting for, actually. I'm waiting for, and it might exist already for all I know, but I'm waiting for some sort of GPT thing to be able to be a DM for like Dungeons and Dragons. And like, it can do all the roles. It can make up all sorts of stories. It can it can build a whole world. Like,
dude, that's totally being done.
Handle all of the turns during combat. Like, that's what I'm waiting for, is to play D&D with my DM being like ChatGPT.
If it's not being done, there is money to be made right now. Yeah, to make that happen.
There's no way no one's thought of this.
Or you ever so smaller scale than D&D, and I've never done D&D, but I respect it. Shout out to Ben Klepsig, who is quite the D&D man.
That's true.
But you ever play Mafia?
No.
You never played Mafia? It's like,
I don't think so.
All right, everyone, like you play in a group and you're like, all right, lift up your head if you're the mafia, lift up your head if you're the townspeople. All right, yeah, so that would be fun with ChatGPT. Be like, and especially when you have like extra roles besides just the mafia and the townspeople. If like I've done it in certain ways. I've actually, what do you call it, officiated or whatever the phrase is, for a mafia game where it's like you have like the doctor and the cop and the this or that, where they have extra roles, but you have to remember everything. You're like, all right, now put your head down. Now the cop, put your head up and point at this person or whatever,
Yeah.
And so you don't want to do it wrong, but that would be really cool. I bet it could do a decent job. It would probably forget here and there, but so do people. So
I'm sure I've played that before. It does sound super familiar, but it's been forever, man. I can hardly remember. No D&D for you though, huh? Never been at the right place at the right time.
I'd be open to doing it once. Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have Ben be our DM for a Chill Filtered Dungeons and Dragons virtual session.
2026 in the dungeon.
Nice, yeah.
We'll just do yeah, exactly. We'll you know how we did like Phoenix one where we did the state of Arizona, and then we did a Wisconsin one with the state of Wisconsin. We'll just do a dungeon one.
Yep. Chill Filter
In the-
2026 meetup in the dungeon.
Yeah. Bring our 12-sided dice.
Yeah. 20. Well, I mean,
20-sided
various, but
dice.
yeah.
No, that's cool. What is
Oh,
going
did I
on with
say what
me?
I'm did I say what
No,
I'm
yeah,
entry
go on.
buzzing on since we did entry buzzes
No,
earlier?
I
Batch
probably
11
ruined
and
that.
Hoverhawk. Batch
Nice.
11 and Hoverhawk are very similar. I forget the exact term that Found North uses, but grain bill or just blend of single grain whiskeys or whatever.
Yeah.
Goldfinch is 91% corn, 8% rye. That is literally identical to batch 11. And then Hoverhawk is 90% corn and 9% rye. So like 1% off on each of those. So anyway, I figured it'd be a good warm up here to do batch 11 and Hoverhawk, and then we'll get into Goldfinch.
Nice. Anything else before we go to break?
No, I don't think so. Other than I was just thinking earlier today, we might want to get a jump on Secret Sampler this year.
Oh, not only
Boom.
Secret Sampler, but Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. But anyway, so there are a lot of fun things that happen at Christmas for Chill Filter. First of all, we want to do the Secret Sampler again this year. And if you're not familiar, it is a sample Secret Santa. We do one. I think we're probably going to continue what we did last year, unless we want to add a category or something like that. But last year we did like a strange pour, an entry buzz, a show off pour. What was the last one? Oh, just kind of a standard, like awesome. Old trusty. Yeah. And that worked out really well. We had a lot of people join in and enjoyed every bit of it. I am always blown away by people's generosity. I had Brian Duncan 2 years ago. Who did I have last year? I had Ben. I want to say it was Ben. I apologize if it wasn't Ben.
All that's required is those 4 samples, but people usually just end up throwing in a bunch of other stuff too as like extras.
And you get to, I drank, I think I drank an antique collection from Brian. There were a lot of good things. Brian threw in like I want to say it was an Eagle Rare 17, to be honest.
I have no doubt that it was.
But you're not required to do more than that. But it is awesome. And we love doing it. This will be our 3rd year doing it. So if you want to get in that, just keep an ear out. We'll put it on Instagram. We'll put it on Patreon. Maybe we'll put it on Instagram. We'll definitely put it on Patreon, and we'll give ways to join in. Otherwise, we'll probably do it on Instagram. We'll probably just do a quick
you want to? Because actually, past 2 years, we've kept it to paid patrons only to keep the group small. Because it ends up usually being about 10, 12 people. And we send out a whole questionnaire to ask you kind of what your preference is, what kind of whiskeys do you have at home, so then we can kind of line the chain up where people are giving whiskeys to people who prefer what they generally have at home. So I do that manually. I do the matching to try to maximize everyone's fun. Maximization.
Fun maximization. And then secondly, Christmas episode is coming, and we have a long standing tradition, way more than 2 years, in which we not request, but we say, hey, if you want to give a gift to me and Brian, you will be put in the runnings for one of probably 6 bottles, if not maybe more this year. But we're probably planning on doing 3 bottles for Brian, 3 bottles for Cole, and maybe we'll throw in more if we want to. But we get a choice of basically hey, if you win, if you're the best gift to Cole and Brian, depending on who it is, if Cole thinks, Cole thought, I think Ben last year, I might be wrong, Ben gave the best gift, and then you said Max gave the best gift, which was it was a close to begin with. But with that, they each got their own bottle, and then you do 2 randoms. Basically, if 20 people give gifts or whatever, then one gets it for the best, and then 2 randoms selected, get a bottle. And this year, I at least know I'm probably going to do an E.H. Taylor single barrel, and definitely the Found North barrel pick that we did. I got an extra of that. And then I don't know what
Nice.
the third one will be, but it's going to be a banger. So
Yeah, I know. I haven't made any decisions yet, but I know I have some great stuff. Honestly, at least one is going to be like a Weller Full Proof or something like that.
yeah.
One of those tater bottles, and probably my number one will be something that's like actually good.
Mhm.
Shots fired, but yeah, a bottle that's like, maybe hard to get and not just a tater bottle, something that I
Totally.
actually believe is like a really good whiskey. So that's where my target's at.
Nice. But yeah, we got fun options. We're going long for the first segment of the show, but if you want to start preparing for that, we love it. Like it sounds almost weird to be like, send us gifts, but I am a gifts guy. I love giving and I love receiving. So you will not go away empty-handed when you consider the expected value of things. But you're in the runnings for a really cool bottle, or maybe more than that. So um, that is something to prepare for. We usually ask for gifts around the 15th of December, so that'll give
Mhm.
us a month and a half or so. So just start considering that, everyone. Same with we'll get the Secret Sampler surveys sent out pretty soon, so that we can get that set up so that people can get their samples before like maybe the 20th of December or something like that. But we'll figure it out. We'll get
Yeah.
all the details on Patreon, and we'll talk a little bit on Instagram and spread it out a little more. But I don't think many people are doing Secret Sampler stuff officially. So if you're one of those people that's like for example, like other creators are saying, "Hey, get
Oh,
in on this." So like, this is cool. Like, I don't know. Have I ever told you about Reddit Secret Santa?
oh, for sure. And Bill
Yeah,
Gates. Yeah, we talked about
yeah.
this.
And it's like if you set it up, why not do it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Although they don't set it up anymore, so that sucks. But anyway,
Maybe we'll get Bill
that's
Gates
uh,
in on our secret sampler.
yeah. Dude, could you imagine like it just became like, no, I'm not going to send you samples. I'm going to give you a bottle of everything
Yeah.
and like
He
nice
just I'm
stuff.
just gonna gift you a distillery, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to gift you the antique collection from every year. That'd be
Yeah.
crazy, crazy. Anyway, so that's that. We'll get into the next segment after this quick break.
This episode is brought to you by the Patreon support of our good friend and fellow content creator, Maximilian Pedraza. He's the man behind the Instagram handle Whiskey with Max, and that is spelled Maks. He is a true enthusiast who loves a classic pour, but also seeks out the rare and the strange. But despite how rare or expensive it may be, he is always happy to share with friends. We all know your heart belongs to the bold, oily beauty of Springbank, but even the most dedicated Scotch lover can grow. Max is also the world's most up-and-coming lover of Buffalo Trace products, finally seeing the light after denying it all these years. I kid. Thank you, Max, for your support of the Chill Filter podcast via Patreon. Always looking forward to the next time we can share a dram in person. Cheers.
And we're back after a nice quick break. Some notes to get to this week. Drink along this weekend. So prep yourself. It is the October drink along in November. So just keep an eye
Very
out for
special.
that. I apologize for being a little late, but we're going to do 2 in November. So it's going to be worth it. If you're on the $10 tier or higher, it is likely en route. That's French. To you right now. Is it en route? I don't know.
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the I that gets the on. I don't know. But anyway, Found North. Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna pour out my sample
Oh, good call. Oh, yeah, that's right. Dang, we
because
probably should
that
have.
is one of the things about Found North is it is way better after sitting for at least 15 minutes.
Yeah, and they even encourage up to 30. If you've got a fresh
Yeah,
crack, pour that sucker and let it sit for 30 is their
yeah.
recommendation. But yeah,
So,
actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do my water pour and everything too here while I'm at it.
ooh, pre-blend.
Schwadapur. Oh,
Okay.
actually, yeah.
So while you do
I
that,
tried free blend.
this is far from our first Found North whiskey on the podcast. In fact, we've covered every release for basically the last 2 years, all the way back to our first episode on batch 7. That was probably in the 270s. And then there was that one episode where we drank all the batches up to like 10 or something. That was crazy.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
God. Man, and honestly, I didn't drink too much of that episode either.
You
Somehow that
didn't?
work out, man. No,
No, I
dude.
mean, I didn't like have a hangover, but I was feeling it.
Okay, well, that is my exact same sentiment too. Fortunately, I avoided the hangover, but yeah, that was a considerable amount of whiskey.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
But I wanted to enjoy it all. Dude, what
know,
ballers
yeah.
over at Found North to even propose such a cool episode.
If I remember correctly, that was out of Nick's private collection, private stash too.
What a
So
baller.
thank you very much, as always.
Seriously. So anyway, Found North is nothing new to the podcast. And so I was like, what do I talk about for the history segment? So I thought I'd put together a history on why Canadian whiskey as a process is a little different than the American whiskey process. And shout out to Bryan for giving me this idea.
Frankly, I've always wondered, so thank you.
No, it's so yeah, when we think about American whiskey, bourbon, rye, weeded mash bills, all that stuff, everything starts together. And what I mean by that is the grains are cooked, fermented, and distilled all in one mash. Corn, rye, barley, all working together from day one. But in Canada, things work differently. Most Canadian whiskeys are made from either 100% of the single grain mashes or very close to 100%. And we'll understand that when we talk about the grain bill today. But all, 100% corn, 100% rye, all malted barley, they're distilled and aged separately. Then the magic happens later when those whiskeys are then blended. So why the difference? Well, the big part goes back to Canadian distilling history and philosophy. In the mid-1800s, Canadian distillers adopted a more industrial, precise approach to whiskey making. They realized that if you distill each grain separately, you get better control in the end. And you can emphasize the purity and character of each grain, and then blend them together to taste after aging. If you think about it, it's like it's nothing new when you look at Scotch, but then again, Scotch is usually one single malted grain, but not always the case. But it is interesting to think like, well, Americans were like, let's just throw it like American whiskey. But as opposed to Canadians, they're like, no, we're just gonna blend at the end. And that's what Scotch does, is they blend at the end. But the funny thing is, if it is blended, for the record, if it's not like a single malt or something like that, even if it's a single malt,
I love the idea.
Yeah.
I love the idea that early on America, like, whatever the term is, like moonshiners, whatever, it's just whatever they had laying around, man. They're like, we don't have enough corn. Throw some rye in.
No, it's crazy to think about because, like in the traditional pre-American way, there was barley and there was malted barley, and that's about it, And so anyway, it's sort of like cooking, instead of tossing everything into one pot and hoping the flavors might come out right, Canadian whiskey makers cook each ingredient perfectly on its own, then build the dish later. That gives them an incredible level of flexibility, which talk about flexibility. You don't really get that in American whiskey. Like, yes, you could blend different mash bills after they've been aging, but it doesn't really give you as much flexibility as individual grains. In contrast, American distillers developed their whiskey traditions on the frontier, where basically efficiency mattered more. You had one cooker, one fermenter, one still. So everything went in together, and that became the American way. And eventually, not just the American way, but the legal definition of bourbon and rye required that single combined mash bill, which I think is pretty cool. Meanwhile, Canadian producers were treating whiskey more like component blending, similar to how Scotch blenders work, or they think. They weren't chasing bold flavor from one distillation. They were crafting balance and complexity from multiple streams, which I thought was cool. That's why today, when like what we're drinking today, Found North blends exclusively Canadian whiskeys. They're working with a set of perfectly distinct components, maybe 100% corn, 100% rye for spice, maybe 100% wheat or malt whiskey for texture and aroma. It's not just a mash bill, it's a palate. And that's what makes Canadian blending and whiskeys like Goldfinch so fascinating. And it's not about how the grains start together, it's about how they come together in the end. So here's one thing I also didn't write down, but is let's actually get into it. So there are 5 components for today's what we're drinking today. But you'll see that none of them are malted barley. But you'll see that in the end. So there is a 15-year corn component that was aged in new American oak, meaning it was unused before and it was likely charred. 22-year corn in new American oak, 20-year corn in used American oak, and a 22-year corn in used American oak, as well as a 20-year rye in used American oak. And yet the grain bill was 91% corn, 8% rye, and 1% malty bees. Where did the malty bees come from?
I was totally going to bring this up. Thank you.
Yeah. So when I say 100% mashes, it's not always the case. And we talked to Found North about this before, is that maybe not most, but a decent amount of Canadian blends take a little bit of malted barley. And that's because malted barley has an enzyme, or at least a set of enzymes in it, that will break down sugars better than most other grains would. And so that's usually why you'll see it in bourbon. That's usually why you'll see it in rye. That's usually why we'll see it in American whiskey in general, is because you want sugar to break down more so that the fermentation turns that into alcohol. And so if you have an enzyme and that enzyme is legal, so here's the thing, is I have a friend who distills, and that friend, gets a certain yield out of 100% grain mash. But this friend is willing to try out that if he adds a little malted barley to this 100% grain mash and turns it into like a 95.5 grain mash, there's probably more of a yield for 1, sugar, and then 2, alcohol in process of it all. So that's the thing. It's like, hey, if you have some legal enzymes, and what I mean by that is if you want a whiskey, you can't add additives to it.
I like additives like it's a verb. I like that.
You can't additives it, yo. But if these enzymes are in a legal ingredient, ergo grain, then you can use that ingredient to say, hey, let's get a little more sugar, therefore alcohol, therefore more alcohol means better usually with whiskey. So anyway, 2/3 of this core blend of these 5 components were finished in Sauterne casks. Sauterne?
Yeah.
Sauterne.
In the intro to the episode, you didn't quite say it right. I was like, oh, we'll get to this, I'm sure.
Did I say Sauterne?
Yeah, you'd put the A on the end. Yeah.
That's how I originally learned it, but I was wrong.
Yeah. It's hard to get over that once it's like, I'm a big Harry Potter guy. I'll admit it. Everyone said Hermione's name different in their head when they read the books before.
Hermione.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, you're correct. Now it is Sauterne. That is correct.
Yeah, and it's Hermione for the record.
Thanks.
So the remainder of the 1/3 of the core blend was split evenly between cognac casks and air-dried heavy toast char level 1 new American oak from Kelvin Cooperage. I gotta get more bright on me, man.
It's when you shift to when you shift to your left and you cover that up, then your camera, your
Nice.
white balance, is it? I don't know, whatever. I
I
mean,
don't
it's
know.
just, yeah, everyone listens to the podcast. Nobody watches on YouTube. It's all
Nobody
me.
even watches it on YouTube. Actually, that is true. We get a lot more listens than we do. And that's probably just from legacy listeners that,
Right,
and we
right.
love you, legacy listeners.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
we love YouTube people more.
no, we love you all, but comment on YouTube.
Yeah, you can't comment if you're driving in your car to work right now. You can't comment.
Yeah, you can't yell at your radio. I guess you could either way. But you can't yell at us through the comments. Anyway,
Right.
blend of 36 barrels. The bottle outrun was 8,546 bottles. It is 116 proof, 116.2 proof to be exact. It is non-chill filtered.
Hey,
It is non-additive.
very
There
good.
are no additivings. And there's natural color. Retail of this John piece, $160. So let's check it out.
Yeah, and let me baseline here
Mm-hmm.
with the Batch 11 and the Hoverhawk. So my previous assessment, I believe, was that Hoverhawk was my least favorite of anything found north so far. Something's got to be last place. And I thought it was Hoverhawk, but man, I'm really digging Hoverhawk more than Batch 11 today because
Got some oxygen in it.
yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. The Hoverhawk is coming across with a lot more honey sweetness. And the kind of spice, like a rye spice to it, is a little more subdued. So the Hoverhawk is giving me great like peppermint, and that's where my head's at with the rye spice stuff. Peppermint and a nice rich honey sweetness on the Hoverhawk today. The Batch 11's coming across a little more like ABV abrasive. It's got some darker kind of bourbony notes going on in there, but overall Hoverhawk comes across a little more sweet and delicate and
Nice.
less abrasive on the palate. So I think I'm going into Goldfinch now with Hoverhawk being my main comparison laser focus here. So we'll see how it goes.
It's funny you mentioned honey because like this. Okay, so two things I noticed about the nose for Goldfinch. One, it's pure honey on the nose. Secondly, it's a lot hotter on the nose than 116.2 for me. I'm getting like 135s off the nose just from the it's like
Yeah,
burning my nose hairs a little just sniffing it. Yeah.
I can see what you mean. The nose is pretty punchy here, but the nose with honey, I'm getting plenty of like white grape stuff going on here too.
Ooh,
Yes.
can get behind that.
But to get specific, 66% of the final blend was Sauterne casks, was the Sauterne cask finished blend component.
Yep.
So there should be plenty of syrupy white grape dessert wine stuff going on this pour.
Is Sauterne white grapes like PX?
Like PX. Is
PX is white grapes.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah. So what they do with PX is they like harvest these white grapes. They basically turn them into raisins. Like they like sun dry them. And the sun drying gets it to a richer, redder color. And then they take whatever juice is left out of them, and basically work with that. So I learned that late in the podcast. I always thought PX was like just a fancier version of Oloroso.
100%.
Yeah, PX is white grapes.
Wow, yeah, you're totally right. I fact checked you with Google Gemini here. Man, I could have sworn that like PX sherry finish stuff that I have has like a more reddish tint to it. I just thought that like that
No,
was
it
a
definitely
thing,
does. But they start as like white grapes. But then when they raisin up, they get a little darker.
Oh, that's very interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about Sauterne. I don't know if it's red grape or white grape, but at least palate wise and taste wise, I'm in Welch's
I
white
dig it.
grape juice territory on this. It is not coming across as thick and honey as Hoverhawk was on the palate for me. Just jumping
Mm-hmm.
right into palate notes, I guess. But there is a more acidic side of the tongue bite thing going on for me. That's like a much more clean and crisp fruitiness than Hoverhawk.
I really dig this. This might be one of my favorites of Fountain North. And why I say that is that I don't know what Sauterne is like. I've never sipped a Sauterne sherry or whatever it is, a Sauterne
Just a Sauterne,
wine
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. Um, this brings out really good white raisiny notes that are not overdone. Really nice sweetness, really well balanced. And honestly, like I compare this to the batch 9 is one of my favorite batches. I entry buzzed on that. This beats batch 9 by a mile.
Dang.
This is it is like if I could prove any word by this release, it is a beautifully balanced sweetness. Sometimes the sweetness on Found North can be like segmented or like compartmentalized in a way. Like you're getting sweet from the ruby port because it tastes like this at this point in the port. No, this is a beautifully, continuous sweetness throughout. And I love that about this pour.
So I totally get what you mean. And the way that I interpret that is the other ones that I was drinking, I mentioned peppermint earlier on
Mention
Hoverhawk. I
what?
mentioned
Yeah.
peppermint. And that like that spice, like it's a dry burn heat, like kind of makes you go with your mouth
Yeah.
when it's kind of like an ABV sting and kind of like a rye spice at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Just when you think that the Goldfinch pour is going to do that, all that sweet fruitiness just like stomps that sting down.
Yeah.
So it stays very, very mellow the whole time. Where earlier you thought that the nose was way higher than one, whatever it is, 116-ish.
Yeah.
I think the palate absolutely drinks 116, if
Yes,
not
I
a
agree.
smidge lower, because
Yeah.
all of that syrupy fruit, I'm assuming from the Sauterne cask, is really keeping the sting down from spices, rye spice, anything that's ABV. It's all getting suppressed by that.
If I have one critique for Found North as a company, especially in their older releases, and I mentioned this once or twice on the podcast, is sometimes I get a note of aged vodka. I don't know how to explain it except for it's somewhat buttery and somewhat it's just as if you put vodka in a barrel. And what I mean by that is like there's not enough backup flavor to like vodka. One of the points of vodka is to be like basically flavorless. And then you throw it in a barrel and it just picks up these like bland, buttery Chardonnay oaky notes. I love how this is so far from that. And so this very well might be my favorite Found North release. And I say that like every other episode we do on Found North, but they just keep getting better. And so what I say that, I only got that on a few of the earlier blends. So I don't want to be like Found North is known for aged vodka notes. No. But this is so far from that because yes, they have some used American oak components and whatever. dude, this is sweet. This is honey. This is raisiny, but not even in a raisiny way like a nice sherry finished scotch. This is its own thing. It's like if you mixed honey with raisins. I don't know. I love that phrasing. But yeah, that's what I love about this pour so far.
Yeah, we're clearly both very, very much on the same page. I did just add, I went a little more, one more drop than I normally do. I went for 4 drops in about an ounce.
Nice.
We'll see how that plays out. But we're totally both on the same page, though. We're both big honey and raisins on this. Honey and raisins and less dry, hay, grassy, rye spice than previous releases. I'm glad that you're coming from batch 9 though, because batch 9 is one of my favorite batches. And I recently did 8 and 9 back to back to reaffirm that 9 truly is my favorite, because I think 9 is the more purple jammy between 8 and 9. So I like that you're coming from that angle, and I'm coming from this like zero. There is no purple here at all. And while we're talking about colors, when you're talking about like vodka, aged vodka, whatever, clearly if you were to assign a color to that taste, it would be white. It is sometimes it's white, sometimes it's creamy white. You can get a lot of creamy white palate notes from Canadian whiskey. And this, the amount of fruit in Goldfinch keeps it from just being only dry creamy white. I think that there is dry creamy white here for me, but it's not overpowering because of the syrupy Sauterne finish stuff going on.
I just sipped and sniffed with some water, and I don't like it more. I'll tell you what, I think it was pretty darn good neat. And one of the things that I noticed with the water pour is that it opens it up and makes it a little too floral, a little too synthetically sweet compared to the neat pour. So I think the neat pour was a lot better. This is good. Don't get me wrong. It's still good, but I much prefer the neat pour.
Yeah, nothing immediate on the palate for me. You know, I might get a little more darker themes going on here.
I can see
a little
that.
more oak, a little more wood spice with the water pour, a little less fruit with the water pour. I'm not sure I like it anymore because I really liked the raisin, the white raisin stuff going on with the neat pour. But
good point.
Just brought out a little bit more darkness to it for me. Not necessarily better. Totally agree.
And I think it robbed it a little of the honey note. Actually,
shout
a
out
lot
to Rob.
Of the honey note. Yeah. Shout out to Yom Rob.
I know you mentioned sherry butts earlier, but it was the intro. I didn't want to interrupt you, but we know that sherry butts drive Rob nuts. So shout out to
Yom Rob nuts. But yeah, honey gone. Let's see what ice does to this John piece. I got a cube. I'm about to drop that cube. All right, here we go.
Yeah, you know, I usually ask the question to Nick, is there a manager's proof on this? And I mean, what does that question mean? The question means, what was Nick's personal favorite proof of this? Because you know they proofed it to 0.1 all the way through the entire scale. And Nick had to have had a favorite. So I'm just curious if it ended up as Nick's favorite proof or if Nick prefers this at a certain proof.
I bet he does.
It's not just Nick, it's Sammy too, actually.
Sammy.
Hold on a minute. You know, during the media thing that they did, I was like, hey, good to see Sammy on this one. And I realized that I missed the previous one, and Cole let me know that Sammy was on the previous one. And here I thought this was my first, this was Sammy's first media thing, but it was Sammy's second media thing. But good to see Sammy nonetheless.
I like that guy. He's an open book.
I know, yeah. He's clearly very enthusiastic about it, and the right guy for the job, no doubt.
Nope. Nope on ice palate. It's not bad. It's just nowhere near as good as the neat. It adds a little synthetic sweetness. No natural honey sweetness. I could drink it like this, but it actually brings out a little bit of that aged vodka note that I mentioned before. So keep it neat, friends. Keep it neat.
This ice pour makes me question why we even do ice pours at all anymore. No one's out there doing ice pours, man.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, really.
But they're not the connoisseurs that we are. Yeah, that's for sure.
Speaking very highly of ourselves
science.
Here. Yeah. Gotta know for science. I get it, but this definitely not something you want to add ice to here. Yeah.
No. Honestly,
yeah.
It makes it a mediocre product. Like
back to my water
mediocre product.
Pours.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, it like bitters it, but also synthetically sweets it at the same time. It's interesting phenomenon.
I'm gonna go neat and water one more time while I'm thinking about rating.
Okay.
Man, do you have any idea where you're at so far? I feel like it could. I feel like this is hub at a what status. I feel like this is hub in my what's.
I agree.
This could be 9+ for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is definitely 9+ for me. I'm gonna go a solid 9.29. And then let me look up while we're thinking about everything and such like that. Let me look up the rating scale on the non. This is at least an A. Yeah, this is an A. This is an A for sure.
Also,
honestly, the neat pour is one of my favorite Found North releases, if not my favorite. So
that was going to be my question.
9. Yeah.
So sorry. Tell me like palette neat water ice. Well, obviously ice is last.
Oh, definitely neat water ice.
A neat then water. Yeah. Between neat and water, you feel like you liked the neat more, and tell me why.
Oh, it was noticeable on the difference between neat and water. Definitely neat. Definitely neat. Yeah, this is, I mean, the water like brought up a little bit. It was a progression. It was like halfway to ice was water in the notes and stuff like that. So I love the honey. I love the raisins. It is so well balanced. Such a progression of sweetness that I dig. And I can't stress enough, so well balanced. One of their best works, if not their best to me. Yeah.
I'm actually tied between neat and water. It changes it enough that you should try it. You should put 4 drops of water in 1 ounce of Goldfinch just to give it a shot, because the water pour turns into a more oaky and more wood spices pour, while the neat stays more white grape, fruity pour. So it's kind of just at that point, it's up to personal preference. Whatever you generally like more is the way that you should do it. But for me, I feel like as far as what I'm trying to decide what's a good whiskey, I feel like they're both equally good, neat and water. So they're totally tied for me. And I am working my way up the scale now here. Yes, it clearly stands out. It is also extremely solid and well-rounded. No substantial negative comment. If there was a substantial negative comment about this, it would have been if it came across a little too rye spicy, a little more the batch 11, the Hover Hawk had a nice peppermint note, but that got rounded out with the sugary, sweet, fruity Sauterne for me. So that is not a negative comment for me at all. So I'm going to go A. I'm not going to give it the plus. What would it have needed for the plus? I think it would have needed more fruit, even more fruit. Like I'm a big sherry guy, so like batch 9 really sticks out for me as being heavy, jammy, juicy. I'm a jammy, juicy guy, so I think jammy, juicy stuff gets the plus for me more on this. I'm gonna stay with A on this. A is extremely solid, well-rounded, no substantial negative comment can be made. There is nothing but delicious palate notes on this pour for me. It is fruity. It's white Welch's white grape. It's white raisins, and all of that keeps any sort of ABV or rye spice in check. So I think this is a super great pour. It's definitely one of my more favorite Found North. So it's A for me.
Nice. Makes me sad that neither of us won it on the lottery.
I know. Yeah. I know. Okay. Yeah. Lottery wise,
Yeah.
out of like 13 people that were all on a Discord server, 2 out of 13 won this one. And like, you know, there's the lottery thing with them. If you lose, you have a higher likelihood to win on the next one. So maybe a lot of those people won on the previous, so then they got dropped back down again on this one. But it was just funny to see that, like, while I expected bottle count wise was 8,500-ish. 8,500-ish is kind of top end for Found North releases.
For sure.
Pull up my cheat sheet here.
85.46.
Yeah, 85.46 is Found North's largest release to date.
Nice.
Second largest was batch 11 at almost 8,000. And then the previous ones within the last year or two are like 6,200.
Oh, so, wow.
And with as much as I've heard people winning on previous releases, I figured win rate on this one is going to be like 60, 70%, like 2 out of 3. But this ended up being
a lot more entries.
I know. Yeah. This ended up being like 2 out of 13 on my in my little personal bubble of 13 people. 2 out of 13 people won on this one.
That's crazy. That's just about 15%. And now that we've talked about our math segment of the show, let's move it over to our next segment of the show that we like to call Whiskey World News.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Whiskey World News, and today we are talking about Tanyard, Jack Daniel's Tanyard. Tanyard. So the Jack Daniel's Instagram page says, introducing single barrel special release Tanyard Hill Rye, offered at barrel proof ranging from 130.2 to 148.8 proof.
Hello, Ray.
148.
Hello, Ray.
This whiskey comes from one of our oldest barrel houses in Lynchburg. It has been aging there since November 2015. That's
10 years. Love to hear it. 10 years, baby.
Or almost 10 years. We've always known there are special locations at the distillery that produce particularly exceptional whiskey, and we're excited, as Bryan changes his text to be able to read it better, we're excited to share a taste of Tanyard Hill with you. This is now available across the US in limited release. So the funny thing about this is when I loaded up our Instagram page, I had like just chill filtered homepage Instagram. It was exactly this post. Top post was Jack Daniel's post of this, and then it was 4 reposts. So just like, if I just loaded it up and started scrolling, I had to scroll past 5 different accounts with this exact same post before I got to something else entirely. Like this is the hot thing right now. Today, as we're recording this, today is the day that Jack Daniel's released this at Jack Daniel's, the White Rabbit store. I don't know. I see when they sell these at the distillery, not distillery, but in Tennessee, they call these a White Rabbit release, and they have like a special neck tag and everything. Today was the day that these came out, and they've been frankly, all over secondary for like 800. Cole, would you pay 800 for this?
No. But here's the thing: is that I have so many thoughts on this release. Is that I wish they responded to our media requests. But then, secondly, I much prefer a Tennessee rye to a Tennessee bourbon. Especially from Jack Daniels. Like if I were to get a Jack Daniels single barrel proof, I would choose a rye over a bourbon 9 out of 10 times, or a rye over a Tennessee whiskey 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
And the fact that these are single barrel proofs up to close, easy. I mean, it's a 10 friggin' year. Like it just this is right up my alley. And I mean, I love Coy Hills, but those are Tennessee whiskeys. Let's see what Tanyard Hills are. So that's my thought is like, maybe we should reach out to them again and be like, and maybe we should like reach out to someone to figure it out.
Jack himself. Yeah.
Yeah. Jack Daniel himself.
He's totally still alive. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, heck, dude, we have some connections that do know them.
That's
pretty
true.
well. And I'm like,
that's
maybe
true.
we should like make a connection.
So I said 800 earlier, like day of, everybody's super excited about it. And, somebody sets the price at like 800 and then on secondary, the prices start to go down and blah, blah, blah. But the highest I saw on secondary today was 142. So I was shocked when I read this. When the Jack Daniels themselves said
proof
ranging from 130 to 148.8, because it's like people are willing to pay more for the higher proof. People today were willing to pay 800, 850 for 140 to 142 proof. I don't know where the 148 proofs are going, but clearly they didn't release those for everyone. Apparently 800 bottles released today for people to buy from the gift shop.
Dang.
So apparently they didn't put the 148 in there because otherwise, dude, how much would people have been paying for that? Like, do
you remember what the higher proof of the Coy Hills were?
So to be clear, there was maybe 6 months later or maybe a year later, they bottled the highest proof ones in 375s.
Oh, nice.
And the 375s reached 150 something.
Yep. 156, I want to say, is the higher one I saw.
I wouldn't have guessed that high. I would have said 153, 154.
Nah, I think from recollection, I think the highest I've seen like the highest Coy Hill was like 156. Yeah.
Insanity. God, insanity. If I see a 148.8 proof Jack 10-year rye Tanyard Hill, I will let you all know what it goes for on secondary, but I'm sure it would just be absolutely insane.
Dude, it would be like $3,000 at least. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. All right. Scrolling past all the tootie butt notes in the show notes here. We got whiskey. What whiskey would you choose? Here we go. What whiskey would you choose? We got 2 to catch up on this week. A while back, we asked you, does hearing 4 grain interest you at all? Like, I want to know, like, if you're shopping through Total Wine, you see something says 4 grain. Are you like, ooh, interesting, 4 grain? Or are you like, oh, 4 grain, like, yeah, whatever. So it was interesting how this played out. It's almost half and half. 55% 4 grain, yes, love to see it, versus 45%, no, it's a gimmick. Do you remember what you said, Cole? Is it a gimmick?
I
or
said
do you love to see it?
Like I usually think it's a gimmick, but E.H. Taylor 4 grain was fantastic.
That's right. But I wanted people to write in and say, tell me, convince me personally, do good 4 grains exist? Cody Clark wrote in 2 times. He said, Frey Ranch, that is all. Frey Ranch. And actually, if I remember correctly, Frey Ranch, they always do 4 grain, like single barrels of Frey Ranch. They're 4 grain, I'm pretty sure. To be verified or verify on your own. But Cody Clark followed up also and said, also Redwood Empire. Basically, mash bills that are 4 grain but don't say it on the label.
Nice.
So I think maybe he's saying if they don't like pimp it as 4 grain,
Yeah.
then maybe like it's actually pretty good. But when they're like hamming
Mhm.
it up as a marketing tactic, maybe let me know. Let
Totally.
me know if I'm wrong. We got a couple write-ins from Whiskey Shaman though, and Madtown Marketer Ben Klepsig. Whiskey Shaman says Law's Whiskey House
Yeah.
does a great 4
Colorado.
grain. Good to
Mhm.
know. Madtown Marketer Ben Klepsig says all of J. Henry is 4 grain bourbon
Scum.
and rye. And we were there. We tasted
We
it.
were
How did I
just
not know
there.
this? Yeah.
Shout out to Faith.
Shout out to Faith. Yeah, good stuff. But then there was another question out, and that other question that we asked you was, when it comes to Scotch, which casking do you prefer? And we got a record number of responders on this poll here. Sherry casks won with 62%, bourbon
Nice.
casks with 38%. So, and you know, I mean, honestly, pretty half and half ish. Like, I'm glad that one didn't like really dominate. It wasn't like sherry
Mhm.
90, bourbon 10. But
Yeah.
sherry cask did win though, and that was personally my preference too, if I remember
Nice.
correct. But we got Ben Klepsig, Madtown Marketer here saying Kilhoman Seneg. I should have
Yeah.
researched how to pronounce that, but I'm going to go with Seneg. Has a higher percentage, ABV percentage. Sherry finish in the mix. It is nice. Whiskey Shaman here saying Balcones de Color or anything Glendronach, actually.
Yeah.
So he must have
Glendronach
been the sherry guy.
nails a sherry finish.
Yeah, right. Cody Clark writing in here also. Kilhoman Makir Bay. Makir. We'll go with Makir too. What is it with Kilhoman and always having the hard to pronounce for white
Even
Americans?
Kilhoman's hard to pronounce.
Right, I know. I got it wrong for so long. And then I finally got a
Kilchoman.
bottle. I should just say that every time from now on.
Yeah.
The box that I got from the Comreich, Comreich, that actually had a pronunciation guide in there at the beginning. It
Nice.
said kill dash ho dash men.
Nice.
So, helping people out like me here on that one, but they're
like-
great with go ahead.
I'm not even gonna go there.
Okay, good. Please, no. Just helping people out like me here. But Cody Clark, let me read this all. Kilhoman Makir Bay, private picks where you can adjust the mix ratio or bourbon /
Nice.
sherry. That's kind of cool. You can do
That is
like
cool.
who is it? Friggin' Maker's Mark. You get to like
Mhm.
kind of figure out your own ratio, what
Yeah.
you want. And with their, 10 staves, and you can choose your 10
Yeah.
staves and everything. Maybe that's similar. That's pretty cool. But we got Kilted 518 Miles Ferguson, last one, saying Tomatin 12-year bourbon and
Nice.
sherry. Oh man, I don't know which way he leans on this one, but bourbon and sherry.
I like that. He loves Tomatin.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
All right. We got a question for next week's What Whiskey Would You Choose?
I know.
And
Yeah.
it's related to your life.
I know. So I got my mom coming into town, and
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point, so my mom and I are actually planning out a trip to Scotland here, maybe within the next year or two. Might coincide with a chill filtered meetup in the next year
Then I can
or
meet
two.
your mom.
Hey, you can meet my mom. Yeah, she's
Dude.
pretty cool.
Mrs. Rapp is a saint.
She certainly is.
Mhm.
And so, okay, actually, let me precede this with a little story. Last year, no, actually 2 years ago, Thanksgiving, I had just gotten George T. Stagg 2022, which is
You made a mistake.
38.9, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Or 139 point something. Anyway, I opened it for Thanksgiving so that I could drink it on Thanksgiving. And there we were, Thanksgiving dinner, and we're all talking blah blah blah. And my mom's like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, here, smell it." but she's a little hard of hearing. So she didn't hear me say,
Oh
smell it.
no.
And
Sip
like
it, mama.
I go to talk to somebody else and I'm talking to somebody else. And then I turn
You
back.
feel the mist of her spit.
When I turn back, I see her mid sip actually. And I'm like,
yeah.
And so she totally knocks some back. She doesn't knock it all back, but she knocks some back. And then I see her eyes light up and she just goes, like fire coming out of her mouth, like the Hot Ones logo with the chicken coming out. So, that's how my mom is with whiskey, is George T. Stagg literally lit her on fire. My question for everyone this week is, what whiskey do you pour your mom to help her understand that not all whiskey is disgusting?
That's easy. So easy. So proof's got to be low, flavor's got to be high. And there's nothing more on that ratio of flavor to proof than what is it? Tin Cup 10-year.
You can't beat it. Genius, dude. I was so sure you were going to go Buffalo Trace on this one, but Tin Cup 10-year, genius.
Even less proof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to beat. 10-year Tin Cup. Oh man, it's good.
Genius. All right. Well, God, I'm so proud of that. I'm going Elmer T. Lee though. Elmer T. Lee to me, like, I gotta think, like, what were pours that I've personally been disappointed in the most? It's like that's kind of the realm to be in for this. And just originally Elmer T. Lee really struck me as like, oh my gosh, like, where's the flavor?
Is it 90?
I think so. 90 sounds familiar. Let's go Elmer T. Lee for me. 90. Like, I feel like it's got some sweetness. It really doesn't have any heat at all. But man, I'm really jealous of your answer now. We'll see who wins.
Thanks. But hopefully our listeners have even had it, because it is honestly like probably the best flavor to proof ratio ever.
And personally, I remember liking Tin Cup 10-year more than 14. And like, it's already an insane value. Tin Cup 14 is like, I don't know,
$55.
I was gonna say 70 or something. Maybe in Phoenix it's 70, but Tin Cup 10 is even less than that. So
it's like 50.
Great value and impressive amount of flavor for the low proof.
Seriously. Yeah. All right. What are we drinking next week?
I'll tell you right now. Next week, we're actually going to do a vote, because there's two hot pours here. Two pours that we really want to do. And just whichever one wins, we'll do it next week. Whichever one loses, we'll do it the next week, because I really want to do both of these. So we want to know which one you want to hear about first, between Woodford Reserve Barrel Strength Rye versus Booker's Reserve 2025. And now Booker's Reserve 2025, that is the reserves. Thank you. Tequila finished bourbon for Booker's the Reserves 2025. So which one do you want to hear about more? We're going to post this on Instagram on Wednesday, I'm sure. What whiskey would you choose? No, wait. Two Pick Tuesday. That's it. That's a Two Pick
Tuesday.
Posted on Tuesday. Let us know on Instagram which one you want to hear more. Woodford Reserve Barrel Strength Rye or Booker's the Reserves 2025.
I hope everyone puts in their vote.
I hope I spank you on the reentry buzz.
I hope that I think you're beating me, what, 4-2? Or is it 3-2?
That sounds right. No, that sounds right. I think I'm up by a bit. Yeah.
I hope I catch up a little bit. And but yeah, I hope our listeners are enjoying the reentry buzz, which is our once or twice a week blind tasting competition. But I hope that, I don't know. I hope it's a good week. I hope everyone has a good week. And I hope I
never have a hangover ever again.
Yeah. And I hope that people know how much we appreciate them. But most of all, listeners, viewers, friends, family, Romans, countrymen, we hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. Basically, next week, it'll be 2 years.
Oh, yeah, right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Ah! Sorry, dropped my seltzer for a moment.